Hello yogis, welcome to this Vinyasa Flow practice. If you are new to Vinyasa Flow, we move from posture to posture fairly quickly. So this is probably a good practice for brave beginners and upwards, and those who have some kind of understanding of yoga, perhaps have done it a few times before at least. It's designed to get our heart pumping, get us moving, and really open up the body. And hopefully it should be quite fun as well. We won't necessarily need to be using any props for this practice. So don't worry if you don't have yoga equipment necessarily. Even if you don't have a yoga mat, maybe a towel or two on the floor underneath, just to make sure that you're protecting the knees, will be adequate. Please try and listen to your body as best you can. If you're not feeling 100% today, if you're working with injuries, then move slowly. Don't try and push through any uncomfortable sensations in the body. Try to respond and maybe even ease out if something doesn't quite feel right. So I really look forward to moving through this practice with you, and we'll begin in a comfortable seated position. So when you're ready, making your way there, and you may wish to cross the legs, you might wish to extend them out in front, or perhaps even sit on your heels, whatever feels most comfortable for you today. And once you arrive there, just press the hands down onto your thighs and allow your eyes to close. And we'll take a little bit of time just to connect with our breath, to center ourselves both physically and also energetically. So where possible, finding stillness in the physical body and allowing your breath to be very natural at this point. Regardless of what kind of day you've had so far, whether it's been slow and steady or maybe fast-paced and chaotic, try to tune in to what's going on within you right now. So maybe just noticing the physical sensations that you're experiencing, and then perhaps noticing your mood, your energy levels, perhaps the pace and quality of your natural breath as well. And in your own time, starting to allow that breath to deepen. So observe the movement of your breath through your body. Inhaling so that you can feel both your belly and also your rib cage expanding upwards and outwards. And on the exhale, noticing everything retracting back to the center line, the belly button softening towards spine. Noticing how it feels to connect with this deep breath. Perhaps starting to feel slightly calmer, perhaps the chatter of the mind beginning to quieten slightly. I'll give you the opportunity to perhaps set an intention for this practice, if that resonates with you. So you might wish to dedicate your practice today to someone or something that you care about. But if it's you that really needs this practice today, don't forget that it's not selfish to dedicate your own energies to yourself. Feel this deep breath moving through the body, and try to keep this moving throughout the practice, and I will keep reminding you of it. but when you're ready, allowing the eyes to flicker open. So we'll start with a nice simple side stretch. I'll mirror you, so take your left leg out to one side, have the heel of the right foot in toward the pubic bone, trying to keep left toes flexed if you can, and we'll bring the right palm to the mat beside us. Deep breath in, stretching up through the left arm, reaching up and over to the side wall, and try to soften the shoulders away from the ears as you reach. Ensure that your left sit bone doesn't creep away from the floor, so keep pressing down through that side of the body, and then softening into the right elbow as you reach up and over. And if you're quite able to take your side stretch a little deeper, maybe eventually you'll find that your elbow comes down to the floor. Really nice. As you breathe in, come all the way up to the top, nice and gently, and we'll twist from here. So take left hand onto your right thigh and place the right fingertips to the mat behind you. So breathing in, lengthening up nice and tall, and then breathing out, gently starting to twist through the body and open up. Every time you inhale, think about trying to lengthen up through the center of your chest a little bit further. And every time you breathe out, think about trying to soften into the belly and see if you can turn a little bit further. Good, breathe in, come all the way back to center, and take the soles of the feet together. If hips are tighter, have a bit of a gap between pubic bone and heels. Otherwise, you can draw the heels in a little closer. And we'll take a very gentle forward fold. So bring the fingertips to the mat in front of you. Big breath in. Exhale, soften into the torso. Just allow yourself to start to hinge forwards from the hips. So avoid pulling yourself into the fold. Just allow the upper body to sink down and the hips to gently open. Again, ensuring that you're able to maintain a deep and long breath as you move into this fold. Well done. Inhale, rising up to the top and taking that to the second side. So this time it's I beg your pardon, this time it's the right leg that'll extend out and the left heel that's into the seat. And we'll come into our side stretch to begin. So taking your left hand to the mat and reaching the right arm alongside the ear. So big breath in as you stretch up, and then exhale, you're softening through the left elbow and coming over into your side stretch. And try to avoid the elbow moving backwards here, almost wrapping it into the outer hip. And eventually, perhaps if you're quite open through the side body, you might be able to bring the elbow all the way down to the floor, but try not to force yourself into that space. Allowing that connection with breath to take you deeper rather than the sense of pulling yourself into a deeper posture. Inhale, coming up to the top, sliding the left fingertips to the floor behind you, and then taking the right arm across. So just gently using a very tiny bit of pressure to turn your torso round. Try not to pull yourself into it. Inhale, lengthening up through the spine, and then breathing out as you start to turn. And perhaps locating spaces in the body where you can soften. And that might be the jaw and the shoulders here, as well as the belly. Good, breathe in, come back to center. We'll take one more little forward fold. So again, soles of feet together. Choosing that distance between heels and pubic bone. Fingertips to the mat, big inhale. Exhale, soften elbows, soften the torso, chin to chest, and start to hinge forwards. Good, inhale, start to rise all the way back up to the top, and we'll come onto our all fours from here. So, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, and I'll take you through a half vinyasa to start, just in case you're not familiar. So press the mat away with the palms arched between the shoulders, and then send your shoulders forwards of the line of your wrists. Elbows hug into the side ribs, and you're going to lower the belly and the chest to the floor. Breathing into a cobra pose, lift up through the heart and keep the elbows bent. Try to avoid straightening the arms and sending the shoulders to the ears. So as you inhale, there's a sense of trying to almost draw the chest between the elbows. Exhale, lower your chest to the floor. Send the bottom back to the heels for a moment in a child's pose. If your forehead doesn't touch the ground, you can take the hands underneath the forehead. Good. Inhale, come back up onto all fours and curl under the toes. Downward facing dog. So knees hover, chest moves through the arms to thighs, and heels reach down for the floor. Nice big stretch out for the backs of the legs. And perhaps here, just taking a little pedal out through the feet, particularly if this is your first down dog of the day and you're just opening out into the hamstrings and calves a little bit. And finding your way to stillness now. Inhale, rise onto the balls of the feet, and then exhale, reach the heels back down again. Moving through 3 rounds of full vinyasas now. Inhale, ripple forwards, high plank. Exhale, lower the knees. Chest and belly come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra, lift the heart space, shoulders away from the ears. Big breath out, come down. Downward facing dog, curl under the toes, bottom high, pressing chest to thighs. Round 2, inhale, come forwards into high plank. If you're used to chaturanga, rock onto the tips of the toes, elbows bend, lower from high to low plank with control. Inhale to cobra again, or lift your thighs away from the mat, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forwards into high plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin, or full chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high and bend the right knee so you're opening up the hip. Think about sending the right knee cut toward the ceiling. Look forward, step the right foot to the outer edge of the right hand and gently lower the back knee to the mat, untucking the toes. Lizard lunge, big breath in. Option to soften into the elbows and lower the chest toward the floor slightly, or to come all the way down onto the forearms if you can comfortably reach. Tuck chin to chest, relax the neck. Try to keep right knee squeezing into the outer right shoulder here. Option to bind. Maybe coming back up onto the hands if you lower down, bend the back knee. Right hand reaches to take hold of the top of the left foot. If you can't hold the foot, just extend the leg out behind you and stretch the fingertips to the back wall. Good. Take your hands back down to the floor. Step back into high plank. Exhale, lowering through your chaturanga or half chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart, cobra or up dog. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, left leg high. Bend the knee, open up your hip again. Think about sending the left knee toward the ceiling. Look forwards, left foot to outer edge of left hand. Gently lower the back knee down to the floor. Lizard lunge, deep breath in. Exhale, soften the elbows, maybe lowering the chest slightly, maybe bringing the forearms all the way down to the mat. Keep that left knee squeezing into the outer left shoulder, so you're really engaging through the glutes and through the outer hips. Option here again to bend the back knee and take hold of the top of the foot if you're coming into that bind. Remember, you can simply twist here and reach the left fingertips to the wall behind you. Really deep breaths down into the right hip flexor. Try to soften through the jaw. Good, gently release, hands to mat, step back, take your vinyasa, or come straight to downward facing dog if you prefer. Inhale, right leg high, bend the knee to stack the hip, look forwards, right foot between the hands. High lunge, so stretch the arms up either sides of the ears. Soften into the back knee slightly to really tuck under the tailbone and relax the shoulders down. Inner thighs squeezing into center line here. Couple more nice big breaths. Maybe see if you can sink into the front knee a little bit deeper. Exhale, hands to floor, step back into your high plank, lowering down knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, left leg to sky. Bend the knee, open your hip, look forwards, step left foot between the hands, high lunge, reach up. Soften into the back knee, draw in the belly. Really active through the arms, so try to ensure that you haven't got bent elbows and kind of lazy fingers. You want to really stretch up through the palms of the hands, through the fingertips. Maybe sink a little lower into the front knee, opening up into the right hip flexor a little bit more. And then exhale, hands to floor, stepping back through down dog or your vinyasa. Inhale, right leg high, bend the knee, open the hip, right foot forwards, high lunge, rise up to the top. Exhale to warrior two this time, ground the back heel and open up through the arms. So sinking low into the front knee and looking toward the right fingertips. Notice if you're naturally reaching forwards into that right hand and draw yourself back. So as you reach through the back hand, you stack the shoulders over hips. Good. Exhale, spiral hands to the floor. Step back into high plank, lower with control, elbows tight to side ribs. Inhale, press the mat away with the tops of the feet for your back bend. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, left leg high. Bend your knee, open your hip. Step your left foot through. High lunge, rise up. Exhale, warrior two, ground the back heel, open up through the arms. So again, gazing toward the left middle finger, sinking nice and low into the front knee. Try not to allow the knee to collapse into the center line. You want to think about creating an external rotation in the front thigh. On your next breath out, spiral the hands down to the mat. Step back into your high plank, moving through your vinyasa with breath. Inhale, right leg high. Bend your knee, open your hip. Step your foot through. High lunge, reach the arms up. Exhale, warrior two, ground the back heel, open up through the arms. Reverse warrior, flip right palm to sky, reach forwards. Right arm alongside the ear. Maybe wrapping the left hand behind to hold waistband or reach for the top of the right hip if you can. Keep sinking nice and low into the front knee as you stretch through the right fingertips. Exhale, hands to floor. Step back into your high plank, lower to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, the heart. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Bend your knee, open your hip. Left foot forwards. High lunge, come up. Exhale, warrior two. Ground the back heel, open up through the arms. Reverse warrior, right hand comes behind, waistband or the top of the hip, flip left palm, and then draw the left arm alongside your ear. So you're stretching up through the side waist, you're sinking into the front knee and reaching through your fingertips. Float the hands down to the floor. Step back through your vinyasa. Breathing in, right leg high. Bend your knee, open your hip. Right foot forwards. High lunge, come up. Exhale, warrior two, open up through the arms. Look to the right fingertips, flip your palm to sky. Reverse warrior, right arm comes alongside the ear. Triangle this time, straighten the front leg. And then revolve the arms around, back of right hand to shin, left fingertips to ceiling. Open up through your chest. Option to look to the top thumb if that feels okay for your neck here. Keep pressing the mat away with your heels. Exhale, look down, hands to floor. Stepping back into your high plank. Squeeze in the thighs together as you lower. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Bend the knee, open your hip. Step left foot between the hands. High lunge, rise up. Exhale, warrior two. Ground the back heel, open up through the arms. Reverse your warrior. Flip left palm to sky, left arm alongside the ear. Triangle, straighten the front leg. Revolve the arms all the way around. Think about hips pressing forwards, upper body leaning back here. Exhale, look down, hands to floor. Vinyasa or straight to down dog if you prefer. Inhale, right leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Right foot forwards. High lunge, come up. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse warrior, flip the front palm. Triangle, straighten the front leg and revolve your arms around. This time look down. Three-legged dog, hands to floor, right leg high. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, draw across the body. Fallen triangle, extend the right leg out. Make sure that you're on the knife edge of that foot. Ground the back foot to floor, inhale, left arm high, open up through the chest. So you have a few variations here if you want to take this deeper. Maybe you're floating the right foot away from the floor. Maybe you're taking hold of your right foot with your left hand and stretching the sole of your foot forwards, eventually gazing underneath the left armpit. Good, look down, release, Vinyasa. Inhale, left leg. Bend the knee, open the hip. Step forwards, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Look forwards, reverse your warrior. Triangle, straighten the front leg. Arms go round. Exhale, look down, hands to floor. Three-legged dog, left leg high. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Come across and then straighten the left leg. Outer edge of left foot to floor, right foot grounds, right arm high, open the chest. Option to float the foot. Option to take hold of left foot with right hand and then press the sole of the foot forwards. Maybe you're looking underneath the right armpit. Look down, release. Moving through your vinyasa. Let's meet back in child's pose this time. So knees nice and wide. Bottom to heels. And then forehead either resting to the floor or on top, or under, on top of the hands. Just take a moment here to catch your breath back. So notice, where's the mind? And if the thoughts are trying to run away with you, particularly if they're quite critical, see if you can reconnect with your deep breath and allow the sound of your breath to silence everything else that's going on in your head right now. Let's come back into downward facing dog. But this time we'll walk the hands back to the feet. So coming into a little forward fold at the back of the mat. Feet to hip distance. Maybe take your first two fingers and your thumbs, wrap them around the big toes. Inhale, lengthen through your chest. And now as you exhale, we'll fold over the legs, but don't worry about them being straight here. Keep a bend in the knee so your torso and thighs are in contact. And then let your head hang down. Inhale, lengthen through the chest, fingertips coming to your hips, rising up to the top. Take the feet together, turn the palms forwards, Tadasana. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale. Let it go. Good. Let's come through a couple of balances now. Hands to prayer at heart center. Warrior 3, step your right foot forwards. Start to transfer the weight into your front foot and lift your left toes away from the floor. So it might be that you lift the left toes just a couple of inches. Flex through the foot so that it's nice and active, and if you're able to, start to lift your heel roughly in line with the hip and try to roll the outer left hip down toward the floor. Bit of a wobbly one. Moving to half moon, reach your right fingertips to the ground and take your left hand onto the left hip. So as much as possible here, you want to avoid having the hips down toward the ground. You want to stack left hip on top of right. And then if it's comfortable, stretching your left fingertips toward the ceiling to open up through your chest. Maybe gazing to the top hand if that feels steady for you. Standing split, look down, top hand to floor. Keep your left leg lifted and stretch your toes to the sky. Walk your hands back closer to the front foot. And if you're looking to balance here, fix your gaze on a spot on the floor. See if you can take hold of the right ankle with one hand, perhaps even with both. Release the grip on the ankle, lower left foot to floor. And then fingertips to hips, rise up to the top. Well done. Just take a moment to catch your breath back here. Okay, second side. So hands to prayer. Keep the chest open. Left foot steps forwards this time. And right toes lift. One side's always harder than the other. Half moon, left fingertips to floor, right hand to hip, open up. So again, think about trying to stack right hip on top of left and perhaps eventually stretch the right hand to sky. Gently lower the right hand to the floor. Right leg stays lifted, standing split. Walk your hands back a little closer to the front foot if you can. Maybe you're playing with your balance by looking down. Left hand takes left ankle, maybe right hand does as well. Lower fingertips to the mat, right foot to floor, and then hands to hips, come all the way up. Tadasana, palms forwards, big breath in. Exhale. Really well done. Step the feet together if they've parted, and we'll just come into a twisted chair. So begin to sink into your knees and sweep your arms up either sides of your ears. And as you do this, try to avoid your bottom sticking out. You want to curl under the tailbone and create as much length through your low back as you can. Inner knees, inner thighs, squeezing into the center line. Hands come to prayer at heart center. Cross your left elbow over the right knee. Press the palms, turn the chest. Try to keep sitting as low as you can here. Inhale, chair, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist, hands to prayer, right elbow, left knee, cross it. Press the palms and twist. Inhale to center. Exhale, fold. Walk the feet about mat distance apart, toes turn out, heels turn in, and sit the bottom to the heels, Malasana, yogic squat. Hands can come into prayer. If this doesn't feel good for knees and hips, sit the butt to the floor, soles of feet together, and knees wide. If you're in your squat, try to avoid just sinking down into the hips. Think about pressing through the heels, lifting your bottom a couple of inches away from the heels. And if you're in your squat, see if you can just sit your bottom down to the mat and stretch the legs out in front. Give them a well-deserved little shake out. And we'll move into half cow face, one of my favourite postures for really getting into the legs and the outer hips. Left foot is engaged, flex the toes back towards you, bend the right knee. Cross the right knee over the left. You want the outer edge of the right foot to be on the floor here rather than the sole of the foot. Fingertips to the mat, big inhale. Exhale, press down through the sit bones and start to send your chest forwards. Try to avoid rounding through the upper body here. Try to keep length through the spine. Option to walk the hands out in front as well. Soften into the jaw and maybe even close the eyes here. And just allow your body to sink into the pose. So it's quite a strong posture for particularly the left leg here, I'll find. So notice, do you tense up through the shoulders, through the jaw, through the face? And can you try and soften into those spaces and allow any of that tension to release out on the out breath? Inhale, lift up through the chest. Bring the sole of your right foot flat to the floor now. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Wrap the left arm around the right leg and place your right fingertips to the mat behind you, nice and close to the seat. If it's in your practice, you might even want to take that left elbow to the outer edge of the knee. Like we did in our twist at the beginning, inhale, lift up, and then exhale, start to turn through the chest. Breathing in, come back to center. Stretch out the right leg, second side. So crossing left knee on top of right, outer edge of the left foot's on the floor, right toes are flexing back towards you, so we're really feeling that deep stretch through the leg. Fingertips to mat, big inhale. Exhale, keep your bottom grounded to the mat, hinging yourself forwards, chest nice and open. Maybe you're bringing your hands forwards. See what feels best for you. So as always, we're looking to find that space in every posture where we feel comfortable and steady. So if you perhaps find that you get into this pose, everything starts to curl up, tense up and resist the posture, then just take yourself out slightly and try to find that sweet spot where you can feel a nice deep stretch, but you're still able to soften, so the body releases into the pose rather than resists it. Inhale, come back up. Left foot to the floor, or the sole of the left foot's on the floor now. Right arm wraps around the left thigh, left fingertips to the mat behind you, nice and close to the seat. Again, feel free to take right elbow to outer left knee if you need. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, start to turn. So these deep twists are really, really good for opening up the spine, for getting the synovial fluid between the vertebrae moving, which is really, really good to ensure that you have a healthy back. But also it's good for massaging out our internal organs, which is really, really important for getting our digestive system moving. Breathe in, come back to center. Let's bring the soles of our feet flat to the floor. Make sure you've got enough space behind you. And we'll come into Navasana, boat pose variation. Hands behind the thighs, point through the toes, start to float the heels away from the mat. You could stretch the arms out toward the feet. If you're feeling more energetic, maybe even lengthening out through the legs. Inner thighs squeezing in, chest drawing toward the legs. Breathing nice and deeply, holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Low boat. Stretch the legs out in front. Don't quite let upper back touch the floor. Squeezing tummy to spine. Holding it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down onto your back. Big sigh of relief if you need. Hug both knees into your chest and just take a little rock from side to side. And we'll come into happy baby, so ensure that the knees are bent. Imagine that you're trying to slot the knees into the armpits. And you can hold on to your ankles here, or you can hold on to the outer edges of the feet. But if all of that feels a little bit too much for the hips, then just hold on to the backs of the thighs. And feel the low back grounding into the mat. When you're ready, coming all the way down into a reclined position. Legs can be straight out in front. If you have any discomfort in the low back, soles of feet together and knees wide. And the arms are maybe by the side body, but if you feel more connected to your breath, perhaps bringing the hands, one hand to heart center, one hand to belly. So making those adjustments to get yourself completely comfortable. And allowing your eyes to very gently close. So beginning to transition into our Shavasana, our relaxation. Allow the breath to move back to a very natural rhythm. let go of any physical control of the body.